Catfish, oh my gosh, thank you so much for talking about rankings, because that's what I want to ask this panel. We talked about Fortune 500 just a minute ago. I'm going to throw this to Jeff and to the panel as a whole. But, you know, for years we sold position ranking reports and we say, hey, you're number 4 now, you were number 5, and that's an extra $1,000. So, Jeff, what do you do when somebody spins to their desk and they type in their brand or they type in whatever they want to rank for? They want to rank for pizza national. And they go, well, I didn't do it, so you're fired. And especially in small business, maybe even in some larger businesses, certainly middle businesses. Did we kill ourselves by selling ranking for so long that now we're just, well, we're westbound the target?
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, I mean, it's funny. You can actually say that about the internet industry. Is our greatest problem that we ever created was that we're too good at metrics. Because we came, a lot of people that were working in traditional media that moved into this, and just thought this was, it's such a gold mine because they went from a world of television and print where, there was a certain amount of metrics that were floating around, but they weren't the real stuff, in comparison, they really weren't directly tied to sales, and ultimately they shot us in the foot because it was just a wealth of worthless metrics when it came right down to it, and so like I said in the beginning, that's how we ended up getting into a lot of trouble with, like, hey, look, your rank went from here to here, and your number of index pages went from here to here, but that's really was only ever the first part of the question. It's like what should have been is like, hey, you look, your rank went from here to here. How did that affect sales? So it's like I feel like we've been asking ourselves since the beginning of SEO just incomplete questions the whole time. When it really comes down to it, and we just really needed to grow up a little bit more and stop, referring to what we're doing as hits and click-through rate and move into this is how we make money on it. So I mean, it's really where it needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is if somebody gives you $1,000 and you show them that you gave them $2,000 back, who cares where they're ranked? That's the bottom line, man. I mean, that's my standard for doing business with somebody. By the end of the day, you're making more money than you gave me, and that's all I care about. I don't care about rankings or anything else.
Yeah, but it's also about expectations. I mean, in today's world, I mean, we wouldn't tell a client they're going to rank on, in the top 20 for pizza. Maybe pepperoni pizza and sausage or something. But that's your job as an SEO person to say it's unrealistic to expect to get that ranking. And it's also a matter of timing. I mean, people want it overnight. That's the problem with pay-per-click, is that they can see it up there right away. It's in number 1 position, and they're getting leads and clicks on it right away. SEO takes time, but it lasts for a long time, and then you're up there 24/7. Then you're not being pushed by increasing cost per clicks and other economic factors. So, but it all goes back to setting those expectations up front, like Jamie was talking about a little bit with, what are the goals, what are the strategies? Then we'll deliver on the tactics, and we'll set the expectations for when we should be expecting to see the results down the road.
Yeah, I can't agree more in terms of rankings are worthless. I think it's much more important to sit down, manage the expectation of what is the universe of search traffic available for these terms and this set of terms that we're trying to target, and manage the expectation of this is what we're going after, and this is how much you've got it obtainable and how long it's going to take to get there. Because then you're actually dealing with concrete business, as opposed to this random number which is absolutely meaningless from one town to the next.
As the chairman of the Web Analytics Association, I'd like to apologize to everybody. The best quote I've heard on the subject is, please forget about being precise. You do not need to be precise. You only need to be compelling. So whether we're talking about hits or ranking, don't talk about that. Talk about the business metrics and talk about not in numbers, but in percentages, percentage of change. That's something that everybody in the organization can understand.